Oh, if this goes through, it's gonna be so much value. It does not. Ah, shooting the Hearth and home. Eerie Ultimatum is a backbreaker. That is so many cards.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Gimli fast and hard deck that isn't fast or hard at all. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Gimli of the Glittering Caves today. Take a look at this opener. Oh, that's interesting. We could keep this. I'm gonna mulligan. So I do have Godo Helm in here, and like we could just play the game where we try to assemble Godo Helm. But I'd rather get more early game value going, or at least attempt. Hopefully we don't get punished here. Oh, okay, that's a good hand. Although it's still a little late gamey. There's no equipment, which is weird. But hopefully we draw into an equipment, or at least like a value generating one. This one's good, but doesn't draw us cards or make us mana. In particular, card draw is the thing we're looking for. We do have a Bonder's Enclave, but we need to get to 4 power. In this deck, that may be a little bit awkward. I think you still run it because it's only a land slot, but there's going to be times where you can't activate it. So I've had that come up a number of times where you're like, oh man, could really use War Room instead right now. But in other situations where you can use Bonder's Enclave instead, not paying the life is kind of a big deal. If you activate War Room, 3 times in a game, that's a chunk of life. Maybe a little less for a monocolor, but I played in 2-color a lot. Anyway, so this is my Gimli deck. We'll take a read of Gimli here. 3 mana, 1/1, double strike. Whenever another legendary creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. I mean, this thing is born to Voltron. Double strike and makes mana? That's insane. And if you play a legendary creature, it gets bigger. I didn't really build around that. I don't think that's the strongest mode. Given the way Commander sort of plays now, that's like, it's a tough ability to really take crazy advantage of, because for that to really pay off, you need to keep it in play for a long time, and just the way interaction is in Commander now, that's not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do. Sometimes it'll stay in and it'll be awesome. Other times you'll just immediately hit the board wipe and life will be terrible. We'll play the Soul Ring, get the Trailblazer's boots, and be off to a very fast start. I guess we have the Hellkite Tyrant. We could like steal people's stuff. That's a form of value. But yeah, this thing looks insane to me. I played another version of the deck someone sent me. I wasn't in love with that version, so I decided to film this one. I'll definitely show this one before I show that one. Just because I haven't posted like a normal Commander Replay video in a while, especially something that I filmed. This is the second video that I'm filming in probably at least a month. For those that haven't been keeping score, I had LASIK surgery about a month ago, and my vision is still terrible. Reading is really difficult. The letters on this card right now are definitely doubled a little bit, and it has not gotten that much better over the past month, which is concerning. So I did take a little break, kind of just dipped out of the game, because I mean, I've been going at this pretty hard for what, 6 years now? So sort of needed a break in addition to all of that. But now I've got tons of things I want to film. I have tons of things I have to film. We'll be trying to get a lot of that stuff done. I know I've got a lot of Patreon videos that I need to get caught up on, but I think I've worked it out where I'm going to have a second editor on hand for a little while, so should be a bump up in content, in the amount of content that you guys have been seeing from me. Oh, there's some sweet, sweet card draw. That makes me happy. Play the Gimli. Play the Wicked Strip Mine something. I'm not going to do that. That's a 2. Okay, yeah. How much is this guy? Also 2? Okay. Yeah, Mask of Memory will make this hand awesome. Although, maybe I should have played the Strip Mine instead of the Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter is probably the better one to discard. Whoops. That being said, I haven't played much in the past 2 months. Really? I'm going to be a little bit rusty. I felt rusty going through deck building, and I'm like, trying to remember the names of cards, right? When you don't look at this stuff every day, you're like, wait, what's that card again? Beyond all that, I've also been working 2 different jobs and trying to get some music stuff going as well. So it's not just that I took time off, it's also that I'm thinking about 1 million other things all the time, which makes it hard to remember the card names. We got a Legolas Master Archer coming in. That's off Flintlock. That is their commander. We'll give this one a read. I am not up to date on the Lord of the Rings cards. I've been seeing that people have been playing them a lot, and it seems like a hugely impactful set to the commander format, which, some sets are and some sets are. This set seems like it's really affecting Commander quite a bit from the little bit that I've seen over the past month or so. And anyway, 3 mana for a 1/4 with reach. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. That seems like fight.deck. is what that seems like. I don't know how I feel about that. There's only so much protection in mono red, which, like, isn't the best. Not thrilled about what that means, but I think before anything goes wrong here, we're going to want to get this Mask of Memory, equip this Mask of Memory. Xeno's got no blockers. We'll poke their way. I'm holding back my land drop right here because I don't know what I'm going to see with the Mask of Memory. It just makes sense to... When you have a play like this where the land up front doesn't matter that much, it's better to hold the land just so you have more choices to discard, in case we draw things we really want. If we find like 2 lands, then it's no... A Mask of Memory, Gimli trigger. Oh yeah, this is some sweet, sweet value. This feels so good. I mean, I almost can't believe they printed this thing like this. Like, it just speaks to the power creep in this day and age, right? Because you had, like, Rayav and Sylvia both had double strike innately. Oh, there's a mountain we can just discard. Although, we kind of need the red mana. I think I'm going to discard the Strip Mine. We should, like, have a second red source. I know we're making treasures, but even still. Another treasure. Yeah, I mean, what's insane about this is, like, we're generating mana as we're doing this. There's more stuff. Now what are we getting rid of? I'd like to keep the Bonder's Enclave around. Notably, Sword of Hearthenholm is protection from the Legolas, so that one's going to be super important, I think. Also Swiftfoot Boots, I guess, too. Bonder's Enclave? That can't be correct. I'm going to go on the assumption that our stuff is going to hold up for at least long enough that we're not going to need Bonder's Enclave, which, if Mask of Memory gets shot, getting rid of this will be a terrible idea. All that being said, let's play the mountain right here, play these boots, equip these boots. And next turn we'll aim to get the Hearthenholm going with, oh god, Hearthenholm with Volakut? Things are going well. And yeah, we'll take a peek at the deck. So we did have the Soul Ring start, and those are undoubtedly good, but the way the curve of this deck is, I mean, we'd probably only be a turn or 2 slower, maybe like 1 turn slower, doing all the same stuff anyway. That's just kind of the way I have this deck built. My thinking is this with this deck. So I've played it one time before. I got decimated by a Ragavan deck maybe between 1 and 2 months ago. It was probably like 6 weeks ago. I was actually at the shop playing, and Mothership Games, who we have an affiliate with this channel, save 15% on singles by using the promo code replay. Link is in the description below. Anyway, so I was at Mothership playing, and someone had a Ragavan deck, and they said they were running like 18 lands or something like that, and it was still insane. Like, making a treasure every turn is just ridiculous. Selvala is cool, because that'll draw us more cards. I do like that. But anyway, my thought is this. So because we're going to be making treasures, I think you want to have a pretty low to the ground deck, except you do want a couple things up here at the top, and normally I like that anyway. Like, I always like to have a couple big things to go to for later in the game if you have mana, if things get stalled, whatever the case is. I think it makes even more sense to do so with this deck because of the way you can make treasures. Like, you know, if you make your first 4 land drops and then make 3 or 4 treasures or whatever, you can easily get to a Dracuseth and have that menacing the table. I actually don't know if this is enough high drops for this deck. You could potentially run more. A Patreon of mine, Fi, who I've played with a number of times, mostly on webcam, they have a Captain Lannery Storm deck, which is actually a Dragon Storm deck, and they just use Captain Lannery Storm to generate those treasures and get dragons and pump up the Dragon Storm really quickly. And like, that's very effective. And Gimli makes literally twice the amount of treasures that Lannery Storm does. Now, you need to actually hit with it, which is a little different, but I can very much see the same idea working. So yeah, it remains to be seen like how many high drops you should run. I feel like this is a pretty safe amount where, you know, we should theoretically find 1 or 2 of them without drawing tons and tons of them like in the opener, although I guess we kind of have anyway. But we have other stuff to do, so we're okay. But like the first opener we looked at was like Lands Godo, and like, that's not quite what I'm looking for here. There's a 1/1 lifelink coming our way. That is completely fair. Initially, when I built this deck, I wanted to have like a bunch of lockout stuff in it. I had Winter Orb and Ruination. I decided to cut that stuff, mostly because I didn't feel like taking the time to like cut 2 cards that I really wanted. Probably get rid of this thing, but I've never run this thing, and it looks very exciting. If you haven't seen it, Draconic Destiny, it's a 3-mana aura. Target creature gets +1/+1, flying and haste, and has fire breathing, and is a dragon. And if the creature dies, this goes back to your hand. So really cool cards. I mean, that might be like one of the best red auras ever printed, because I've looked through the list of red auras, and generally they are terrible. They are not anything to write home about. Splinter Twin is the, you know, is the one, but it's like, that's more of a modern card than at least it was a modern card. Not so much a commander card, although I'm sure some people play it here and there. Anyway, brings back to our turn. There's an Arcane Signet. You know, I was kind of hoping for a land, honestly, just to like make things a little less awkward here, but what can you do? Play the old Hearthenholm, equip the old Hearthenholm. The amount of value is going to be insane. I hope there's not a Krosan Grip or a Beast Within over here. That would be terrible. We'll go into Annihilator, because they they have the... Oh, we didn't equip the thing, did we? Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter then. Well, Sword of Hearth, definitely the correct color sword for this current table. I'll take a look at the rest of our opponents here in a second. Oh, if this goes through, it's going to be so much value. It does not. Shooting the Hearth and Home. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to, right? I should probably read that guy. Outland Liberator, out of, what was that, Crimson Vow. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That is fair. Well, we got that out of the way. Yeah, I mean, if that goes off, do you know how hard it is for our opponents to win? Like, we get 2 lands right here, we get the 2 treasures. That's so much mana so early into the game. Like, that's just so hard to overcome. Mask of Memory and Gimli, both triggering. There unfortunately is not a ton of recursion in the deck. That'd be something I need to work on. I did put a Duretti in there, so we could theoretically sacrifice treasure. You know what? Probably wants a Goblin Welder also, because it should be, like, pretty easy to... Oh man, I want all these things, like... I think we're getting rid of Arcane Signet. Mask of Memory, Gimli. The value keeps on going. Like I said, built-in Double Strike, kind of insane. Even more insane is the built-in treasures. Just wild. Oh, what are we discarding? We need the Flamekin Village. We need lands. I mean, we don't technically need Volakut Exploration with, if Mask of Memory sticks around, but if Mask of Memory goes down, then we do need Volakut Exploration. So there is that to think about. I guess we have Magda as a backup, like we can sacrifice treasures. Yeah, I guess we're getting rid of the Volakut Exploration just because it's slow and clunky, and, you know, for the time being, it looks like Mask is here to stay, so. Play the Flamekin Village. Any elementals? Nope. I'm gonna play them. Magda might just get shot. Maybe we... What do we do with those treasures? Maybe we wait. No one else has any there's one artifact over here with the boots. Let's just sit tight, because we want to be careful about how we use our treasures. We made all of our land drops. Yeah, we don't have our next one lined up. We'll need to figure that out. That's an Orin Frostfang. Real magic card. Yeah, there's a 1/4 coming our way. I think we have Arch Enemy. They will draw a card. It may not be the best play that we can make. There's probably other stuff that we can do, but I kind of just want to play the Hellkite Tyrant, put boots, steal it, and then steal this Swiftfoot boots. That seems appealing to me. Then we'll have 2 Swiftfoot boots and we can have both of our things protected. Also, it's a Hellkite Tyrant. It's just kind of a good card. And because we're making treasures, like, you could, in theory, get the 20 artifact win with this thing. I've never done it because I don't usually play, like, you probably want, like, an Is It artifact deck. It's one of the ones that, like, spits out Thopters or something. I don't tend to play those, but that, and there's, you know, everyone can see it, so if they have removal, they're definitely going to shoot it. But someday we'll get that win. But yeah, still a strong card. Especially in a deck like this too, where like the focus is already going to be like you have to kill the commander and probably the things that are attached to it. So I like having these big things at the top because there's going to be so much focus on killing the commander. Like it will probably die some amount of the time. And one, having, you know, something that you're not paying a ton of commander tax on to go to. Two, it's like they've already used the removal on your commander, so it's much more likely the Hellkite Tyrant is going to stick. There's a sad bot. Party Silvala. We didn't take a look at the rest of our opponents, by the way. In the middle is Xenosai piloting Thalia and the Gitrog monster. 4 mana 4/4, first strike, death touch, may play an additional land on your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Oh, gross. And whenever Thalia and the Gitrog monster attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card. And a Horn of Greed. So land trick stuff, I guess it's not in play yet, so we still have one more turn to get lands in, I think. It looks like they have found all of the colorless lands in their deck, which is pretty awkward. They do have now the colors for their commander, but yeah, they have 6 lands and 3 of them are colorless. That's awkward in a 3-color deck. That's gonna hurt. You can get away with that a little more in monocolor, but that can still mess you up. Shadow Spear, good card. Our final opponent, by the way, is Annihilator 7, piloting Ghatla and Mavren. I've seen this one time before. It's a, what is that, 7 mana, 12/12 with Trample. When it attacks, choose one, make an XX dinosaur with Trample that's tapped and attacking, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures, so probably 12. Or make X/1/1 vampires with lifelink, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Honestly, last time I saw this, it looked fantastically overpowered, right? And maybe that's just everything in Commander now, right? Because, like, our Commander, kind of overpowered too, right? Double strike and makes mana? That's insane. I could have never dreamed of something like this a couple of years ago. But so is this. This is also insane, and if you don't have a lot of board wipes, it will beat you very, very quickly. Opponent hits us. They get a trigger with Dawn of Hope. See if they're paying. They might be. Otherwise, they'd probably hold that back. Yeah, they're going to draw. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, I've been thinking about this for a couple days, is I tend to play Boros Voltron. There are a lot of things that mono red Voltron loses by not having white. The first is good protection. You have Deflecting Swat, Bolt Bend, to Bolt Trickery if you're into that kind of thing, and that's probably about it. There isn't a ton of great other options. White, you have obviously Teferi's Protection, a million Blacksmith Skill type cards. You have stuff like, who's the Guardian Spirit guy that phases your creatures out? Eerie Interludes and things like that are all just fantastic. You don't get that in red. And when I play mono red now, I do feel naked in that I don't have those protection spells. And I'm just like, wow, if a board wipe goes off, I have literal nothing. Like, my stuff just dies. Now, I suppose for this deck, there are indestructible equipment. Historically, I haven't run a lot of those over the years. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, every time I see a Darksteel plate, it does tend to overperform a little bit. It's just like, oh, their commander's just there now, and I can't kill it, and you can't really attack into it. So, I probably do need to run that a little bit more than I do, but it does eat up a deck slot, and deck slots are so precious these days. Anyway, it brings back to our turn. There's now a Shadow Spear that we can steal. Oh, there's the Horn of Greed trigger, so we're gonna draw another card. There's a Makokoro. I mean, or do we just go on the Voltron damage? Let's not show the Voltron damage yet, because, like, that'll make us very, very... I mean, Hellkite Tyrant will make us pretty threatening. I don't know, this Hellkite Tyrant thing's gonna be fun. Even more fun because we can protect it, so then, you know, like, we're basically just worried about the board wipe. Move the boots to the Hellkite Tyrant. Put the Trailblazers on the Gimli. Go to combat. Opponent's gonna make a 2/2, sacrifices a land, they're gonna get a zombie, crop rotation. Okay, that all seems fine. Ooh, they get a Mazavith. Well, yeah. Oh, they maze our commander. Okay, that's a good play, actually. So they slow our value. We're not going to make a ton more mana, which is a big deal. We will steal this Shadow Spear. What's brutal about this thing, too, is just permanent steal. So brutal. It's like, shooting this doesn't matter. We steal the Shadow Spear. We have one treasure. Doesn't look like we have anything to do with it. So, what do we need to protect? Hellkite. I think we gotta protect our commander because Legolas could pop our commander pretty easily. Oh, if they have an instant, they can definitely pop the Hellkite. Yeah, maybe we should have stole the boots. Although, I guess we didn't know the Mazavith was coming. Well, yeah, I guess we wouldn't have gone through anyway because they mazed it, but... Oh no, they mazed the other one. I guess yeah, kind of wish we got the boots. I think opponent's probably gonna start doing what their decks looks like it's supposed to be doing. There's a Tribelder. Attack, shoot a thing with instant speed, and do that whole game. At least if they do that, I won't feel bad about attacking them very hard next turn. Though we have less mana than we did. And here comes the attack. Yep. Flurry of Spells. Does it remove Hexproof or just... Yeah, it removes Hexproof. Helpful. Yeah, there it is. Fight target creature you don't control. Hellkite Tyrant going down. This has Death Touch, although... How big is this? 5? It appears that they will trade. Hellkite Tyrant, we hardly knew ye. Wish we got the protection. It does have Death Touch. I don't think we want to block it. Only 2? Why only 2? Oh, I think they resolved the Legolas first. Yep, and this never actually went through. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Orin Frostfang triggers. I don't know how we're going to get the mana for this, because, like, I want to get a bunch of these equipment in, but also, like, I'd love to leave up this Volcanic Offering just to prevent disaster from striking. Soul Ring for opponent. Wouldn't be sad to see a board wipe. Like, a standard creature board wipe only kills one thing of ours and actually gets rid of quite a few other things on the board. This is a Tireless Tracker. We should watch out for that. That's a strong card. Realms Uncharted. 4 lands with different names. Make them, separate them into piles. Opponent chooses. Yeah, those are nasty ones. 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Which 2 do we choose? Chosen cards go to the graveyard. Not interested in Field of the Dead. Not really interested in a second Mazavith either. I faced double Mazavith before. I knew someone that played a lands deck years and years ago. It was miserable. If our Swift boots go down for any reason, it is a problem. Although, I guess we have the Volcanic Offering, which can solve some of those issues. I really hope we don't get strip mined. I don't know that they're in a position to use it just yet. Man, imagine if that Hearthenholm stuck. We'd have so much mana. Like, that actually would have been game-winning. Based on the amount and the type of cards we've drawn right here, like, having, what, probably 4 extra lands by this point, actually insane. Opponent's going to path their own creature, really looking for mana. I guess they have a landfall trigger, too. Decent value. Probably figures, because the important stuff's all protected with boots right now. That might as well just take the ramp, and there's definitely a time to do that, especially if you got some landfall value. There's a fair amount of land destruction on this battlefield. Flamekin Village is our most interesting land. Makokoro's okay. I don't know that anyone shoots Makokoro unless we're like empty-handed. Swiftfoot Boots for opponent. Yep. They cracked the clue. Equip the boots. We'll have 8 mana on our turn when we play the land. That is not enough to cast both of these. Oh, the other thing you lose when you don't have white also, equipment tutors basically go bye-bye. And a reasonable number of free equips also go bye-bye. And some good things that bring equipment back. Sun Titan, Sabine's Reclamation, Nahiri, all good for that stuff. Those are things you lose when you're in mono red. Like I said, I feel a little naked. Hey, let's play the Makokoro. Let's hold the land. Does it matter? I mean, are we realistically even gonna like activate a Makokoro? I don't know. We might. I'm gonna play the mountain. We're gonna draw a card. It's another mountain. Excellent. Gives us something to discard. Then I'm gonna go for the... Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Sinew and Steel and try to shut down some opponent's opposing value. Equip the Sinew and Steel. Sword of Vengeance does give us a blocker, which is nice. We're gonna equip the Shadow Spear. We'll leave the Ghost Quarter up just in case we need to shoot the Maze of Ith, in case something wacky happens. How big is this thing? 4/4 double strike, ton of abilities. Flintlock hasn't taken any hits yet, although Flintlock still has only basics, which is frustrating. That's a 2/6. We have Trample and Double Strike. I mean, if they want to block with that, I don't think they will. Well, let's think. No, yeah, it's not going to kill our thing. This is some good Voltroning right here. Not doing tons and tons of damage, but the value. We've got card draw. We lost our ramp. We've got repeatable removal. We've got lifelink trample. Yeah, a lot of good abilities. That's a Croson Grip on the Sinew and Steel. Makes me sad. You're going to need that to ready at some point. Notably, that's also a big reduction in damage. And now, this thing might actually give us some problems. Yeah, we need to get rid of the card draw, because opponents keep drawing cards and just all the removal is going to come at us because we look very scary. It's not great. Yep, now they block. We just got crushed, is what just happened. That is not great. Nice plays, opponent. Yeah, definitely should have went somewhere else with the non-basics. But we got to get this Horn of Greed out. Because we just lost our removal, that's not great. Selvala's still in play. No, is Selvala dead? Where'd Selvala go? Yeah, if opponents... Anyway, the point is, if opponents just have full hands the whole game, like, we're just going to eat all of them. It will not be great. Yep, Horn of Greed. Vigor is disgusting, and is not a particularly easy card for us to deal with, being that all of our removal's damage-based. I think we can kill it, but like a board wipe would be bad. Does say another creature. And Flintlock just holding up all their mana over there isn't the best. Still attacking us. I don't know that we're the threat anymore. I guess opponents aren't doing all that much. They're setting up, is what they're doing, but like, once this deck gets rolled in, you're in trouble, right? Like, our deck's way easier to deal with than this. Because, like, you just have to keep this commander out of play. I mean, I guess you have to keep ours out of play, too. This will overwhelm you much quicker. Our, Voltron decks have more points of failure, right? If we try to recast our commander and they just shoot it on the way in, then we're dead in the water. Though I suppose the same is true for them. And the worst part is we haven't been getting treasures, and so, like, now the green decks will start to surpass us in mana production, because we've missed treasures for a couple turns here. Yep, zombie coming our way. We also don't have a great way to stop the Mavren. As a 12/12... very few things in our deck hit it. Chain Reaction, if enough stuff. Blasphemous Act just barely. If it gets bigger for any reason, it's probably going out of Blasphemous Act range. That's a damn. That's the board wipe. Okay, that's actually good news. Cleans up the Vigor, cleans up the Frostfang. Oh, please don't be the protection spell. They're gonna protect the Vigor. Yep, as you do. Protection spells, OP. But this is still a good thing for us. We've already lost our creature, so we're not losing anything into this. Still the Vigor left, which is indeed very scary, and now it's bigger. It's at the limit of Volcanic Offering range. I don't know when we'll have time to cast that now, but it does clean up some problems. Squander Resources, there's one you don't see much of. I guess you see it in Lands deck, you see it in Gitrog decks. Probably not too many other places, though. Super old school card. So one of the cards that I was looking at for this deck is the Shovel and Prying Blade, which also make treasures when you hit. I think they're definitely very playable. If you have, like, access to the full suite of X and Ys, then it gets tough to justify those deck slots, and I had to cut something, so I cut those. But I think those could be very... Oh, really? All artifacts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Now we're hurting. Double board wipes. Vigor goes down in there. I guess that's good. Board has been reset pretty hard. We're going to be the first to rebuild, which is a thing, but we have lost so much value. In particular, the Mask of Memory. I really needed the Mask of Memory to stick. We discarded, like, the Valakut thing. And the Bonder's Enclave. We still have the Makokoro, I guess. I guess that's fine. For the time being, we're still okay to just kind of work with what we have, but in some timetable, we will probably need more card draw based on the way this game's going. Our own Shadow Spear could be helpful. Yeah, definitely get our commander back. That's kind of the whole point of the deck here. 5, huh? Are we going to have enough to play the Makokoro, play our commander? Oh, we're one short. No, we're not. Haha! Give it haste. Poke Flintlock. Getting this mana will be super helpful for next turn. There's a treasure. Yeah, that's the problem when you have like these mass card draws like Horn of Greed. When everyone's drawing cards, that means everyone's running into a lot more removal than they would be otherwise. Like, usually there's at least one player, maybe two, that aren't finding their card draw, so they just kind of run out of cards. And if everyone's got a full grip all the time, there's just going to be a lot more removal to be had. And yeah, as the mono red deck, you are not super well suited to deal with that. You're a burn deck maybe, but not us. Yeah, we're getting surpassed in lands now. They're at 9. Commander is back, and it's probably going to be tough to keep our commander alive now. Swiftfoot Boots were hugely important. Also, Maze of Ith is still in play, and we actually may need to shoot that. Though, when this thing comes down, like, depending on where it's going, you may want opponent to have a Maze of Ith. So it's really kind of a question of where's the maze going? At least the Horn of Green is gone, though, because now, theoretically, opponents should start to run out of cards. There's Thalia in the Gitrog. Let's read this again. There's a lot of stuff on here. First strike, Death Touch, additional land, creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter tap. That's brutal. Yeah, I was hoping it didn't say creatures. It does indeed say that. It's the straight up the Thalia ability. And then some more Gitrog stuff on there. They sacrifice a land, draw a card. Think opponents on Ghatla mana, though. Hopefully that starts eating up focus. The problem is that like we've been the focus the whole time, so we've lost a ton of stuff. The Immortal Sun. No Ghatla yet. Wish we had that Hellkite Tyrant, though. That'd be a fun one to steal. Did not put Underworld Breach in the deck. Probably should, but it's a tricky card when you're not building it as a combo deck. Like, it'd be okay in this situation. It wouldn't be amazing. Get the Soul Ring back, which is cool, but... What is this? First strike and Death Touch? Oh my god. The creatures on this board are disgusting. Play the mountain. I think we go Sword of Vengeance. Equip Sword of Vengeance. I really want to get the Magda in, but I think I'm going to wait one more turn, because if this goes through, then we'll have enough mana for a Volcanic Offering, and doing that at a good time might be good for us. Hope opponent doesn't maze this. I'll be not thrilled if they do. It's mostly, I mean, it's 2 treasures, but it's damage, which they probably want some damage, right? Life totals are still very high for turn 8. We drew the value portion of the deck, and opponents shot all of the more damaging cards, like Hearth and Home and Sinew and Steel. Those added a decent amount of power, so commander damage would be stacking up much quicker, but... I don't really want to show the Shadow Spear. If we can, we probably should, though. I'm gonna cast the Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear is, it'll probably change how opponents, it will change their threat analysis of us. But, yeah, I mean, we're fighting 3 green decks, so, like, we need to be mana efficient. We can't just, like, leave extra mana on the table. Said he smells a mono red counterspell. No, but it's a Volcanic Offering, which is also a very nasty instant. I do like Sword of Vengeance. If you have the full suite of X and Ys, this is a really difficult card to justify, because it sits in basically the same mana slot, which makes it tough. But the abilities on it are really cool. Like, there's something about having all these abilities together that the sum is greater than their parts. Like, any one of those abilities is decent. First Strike maybe being a little lackluster. But, like, First Strike with Vigilance, now you're talking, right? Then if you're on the attack, Trample also, right? As they compound, it gets really cool. Also, if you didn't know this, that is Akroma's sword, by the way. And thus, this turns your creature into a mini Akroma. Sadly, it does not give you the protection from colors, but that might be a little insane. But would also be kind of cool. But yeah, I love what this does to creatures, and you don't get to run it in every single deck. I tend to run it in places more that have free equips. Because we make extra mana with this deck, it's a little easier to justify. It's not like it's an Argentum armor or something, but I don't know. I just think it's a really cool effect. Like, other than this First Strike Death Touch thing, like, it makes your creature much more, like, threatening. It can play offense, it can play defense, and do all this stuff, and that's all very exciting. Oh god, what is this? Ancient Green Warden. You may play lands from your graveyard. Oh god. Well, it's probably time on the Volcanic Offering. See what land they go. Hopefully they play not a super bad land first. They play the Field of Dead, of course. Yeah, it's probably time. I really want to shoot this thing, but, like, I mean, they'll just they probably have a protection spell, and they'll just recast it. Choosing a land, definitely give me the Maze of Ith. Choose an opponent. Choose Flintlock. Choose a creature. Yeah, I mean, we gotta get rid of that thing, I think. And they can choose the other one. Ooh, that's a 4-for-1 on Xeno. That feels bad. That's why I don't run Volcanic Offering everywhere, usually just in stronger decks. This was supposed to be a stronger deck, and we did come out of the gates pretty good, but a lot of interaction kind of slowed us down. Opponents playing decks that were, like, definitely a little more slower, not quite as fast, but they had all the interaction they needed to slow us down, so we couldn't just run over the table. I do kind of want to shoot one of Annihilator's lands, because we're probably looking at Ghatla here real soon. But we didn't have to burn our Ghost Quarter. That's exciting, right? Got rid of the Maze of Ith. There's the Immortal Sun. Yeah, we probably need to think about Annihilator here more. Ghatla. Verdant Sun's Avatar. Interesting. Oh, right, because if this comes in, they gain 1,000,000 life. I guess we're on the commander damage plan, so life gain isn't as concerning for us, but it still does play a role. Even better when you have a Dawn of Hope. They have no mana, though. I mean, the problem is, if we try Flintlock, we're probably just getting shot. There's a mountain. Play the mountain. Yep, Flintlock says he's closed for business. Awesome. Play Magda. I think we're probably on the Makokoro turn. What does it do? Oh, yeah, it gets bigger. Nice. Equip the Shadow Spear. What is that? That's 12. Yeah, I think we got to take Annihilator here, because, yeah, they have 7 cards. Like, I was thinking about attacking Xeno, because I don't really want to, like, have to deal with the Ghatla deck, but, like, we also just blasted Xeno with removal. They took all 4 hits from the Volcanic Offering, which is just so mean. So mean. Oh, no! We don't tap, so we don't get the treasure. Sword of Vengeance. Non-bow with Magda. Didn't see that one coming. Still get the treasures off the hits, though. This will be a lot of commander damage. 20 commander damage. Oh, well. I mean, I don't want to play the Draconic Destiny, because, like, it's just going to be too easy to shoot our commander. That's not great. Yeah, I think we just, like, Ghost Quarter and do stuff at the end step, I think is the plan. Makokoro at the end step. Okay, which one's this? Flash indestructible. Creature becomes indestructible. It's no good. Just remove indestructible? It does remove indestructible. Okay. Still, not going to be great. How many things are getting shot here? Really need Flintlock to tap out his mana. Or run out of cards. Okay, yeah, Magda going down. The question is, how many more spells do they have? Because if the big stuff starts showing up, then it's... I'd prefer they have removal left for that and not just burn it on, like, Magda. Down to 3 cards in hand. They played a land. Devouring Tendrils. Target creature deals damage. Target creature. Are we the only one with the creature? Which one are we killing? We're going to take down the Verdant Sun's Avatar. Brings them down to 2 cards in hand. Makokoro would put them up to 3, which isn't great. Probably just going to have to hope they hit lands. But we need cards also. The game has come to a crawl. I do enjoy this style of deck, though. I like these, like, weird creature removal control-y kind of decks. Not like blue control, but like Ashling control type stuff. I'm not so big on the green ones, but like the green, there's the green fight decks like Ronas, right? If I were going to play a green deck, I'd be more inclined to play something like that. As much as I complain about green, mono green, I think, has actually fallen behind. Like, it's still very good, but it does have holes, which, like, going back a few years, it just felt like it had everything covered. Ugh. Really? We're gonna play in that game? We can't target the, yeah, we can't target itself. Well, he's probably trying to get colored mana. Oh, yeah, I see what he's doing. Probably wants the forest. And given that Flintlock has only basics, driving us crazy over there. Annihilator didn't have... Demolition Field is okay. Rogue's Passage is a card that can beat you. Well, I was going to title this video Gimli Fast and Hard, but with all the removal going off, I don't know that that's still a great title for this game. Xeno just became the new threat. Eerie Ultimatum is a backbreaker. That is so many cards. Oh, wow, all the lands come in untapped, too. That is a major problem. Wasn't counting on that one. Well, that should take some of the focus off of us, which is good. Yeah, they get a Green Warden, they get their commander back, they get Solemn Selvala, 1,000,000 lands. And now we can't Ghost Quarter the Maze of Ith, which is unfortunate. I think we've used all of our land destruction, which is not great. And Pasuva can copy something. There's 1,000,000 Field of the Dead. Oh yeah, that's a problem. So, like, a board wipe has to happen. Probably some land destruction has to happen. I hate lands decks. Opponent said they're going to throw their Hail Mary. I'm like, that's a pretty good Hail Mary. I don't even know if that's a Hail Mary at all. That's just like a good play. I mean, they're basically the leader in this game now. This is a lot of zombies. Of course, this has reach. Because, of course. Not that it matters that much anyway. They'll be slightly above 20 zombies. We probably actually draw during Annihilator's turn because we really need a board wipe to happen. Opponent's going to fight 1. Going to fight the Ancient Green Warden. Opponent asks, so why is Field not banned again? Yeah, seriously. Too strong. Draws a card with Cryptic Caves. Sylvan Safekeeper. Makes it tough to kill things. Ram through on Thalia. And I think they're also killing the Selvala. This has 5 damage tracked on it, so like if they keep casting spells... Oh, they're out of cards, I guess. But you know what? We're gonna activate the Makokoro right now. We could activate this thing and get that killed if they have another spell, but they are going to strip mine the demo field because I jumped the gun on that play. Yep. Still a lot of zombies out there that can kill the... Oh, that's a bolt bend. That is a bolt bend, so we need another creature to be attacking, which is a whole thing, to redirect the Maze of Ith. It's unfortunate. Bolt bend, maybe, yeah, just a touch sooner, because then we could have, yeah, we could have used their strip mine on the, what's this one? A demolition field? On their Maze of Ith. Thalia's back. Horn of Greed. See what Annihilator has. Immortal Sun. I cut Mob Rule right before I went to the game. That'd be helpful here. Horn of Greed. They're looking at a lot of cards this turn. What have they used already? I think they used Austere Command. Yeah, they used Austere Command. It's probably a Farewell in there. Yeah, they played Farewell last time I saw this deck. Hearth and Home is okay. Sylvan Library. Okay, they're just going on the setup turn. They're hoping someone else is gonna have it. Animist. Yep. Witch's Clinic. Yeah. Play the land. Draw a card. Another land. A fetch land. A fetch land that doesn't find anything. Well, we'll probably just discard that one. So, like, a board wipe has to go off. The mono green deck probably doesn't have one. Nothing here feels great. So, like, if we get Karlach, we can theoretically set up for another turn. But showing Karlach means we might also die. That's not great. Draw with Makokoro. The Reaver Cleaver, huh? Well, it's not going to do a whole lot here. That is 22 twos. That's about 40 damage. I think we got to try Karlach, because it will come in tap, so we will have setup time. We do get bigger. So if we were doing the lockout thing that I talked about earlier, like, this game would probably go better for us if we, like, dropped a Winter Orb or a Ruination, something like that. I actually don't think it makes sense to go anywhere, especially since we don't have flying yet. We'd actually be putting ourselves at risk. Well, funny story, there's a Morog in the deck. Well, I guess this wouldn't find anything, which is a problem. I copied this list over from a Rayav list and then just deleted all the white cards. Apparently I missed one. I changed a decent number of things, but Rayav and Gimli have a lot in common. Double strike equipment. Opponent wants us to take 6 so they can draw 6, I suppose. Though, what I don't love about that is that, like, that puts us very close to exactly the amount of damage they have with the zombies. 47, like, they'd have to send literally everything, and they lose something into our commander. Guess they could maze their own creature. Oh, if they have targeted draw, let's see. Oh, it's our creature you control. See if we can, like, rope our way into some card draw with the Bolt Bend. You want him still in the deck? Destructive Urge. We need to get through the Maze of Ith in order to use it, but there is, in fact, a Destructive Urge in the deck. Man, if that went off with the Karlach, that's 4 lands. That'd be brutal. If you don't know Destructive Urge, we'll go take a look at it. There's really only a couple decks that you would run it in. Aura. When enchanted creature deals damage to a player, that player sacrifices a land. I guess it's not targeted. But, yeah, basically you only run that in, like, low CMC commanders with double strike. It's a very narrow card, but a nasty one. Haven't gotten anyone with it yet. I've only run it in, like, Rayav and this deck, I think. Opponent goes up to 8 cards. I mean, if they're smart, they could be running, like, Ugin. Most people don't run Oblivion Stone anymore. Azuri's Predation is actually a really good board wipe, but that would just cause more problems for us. We'd be trading one threat for another. There's a Toski, indestructible blocker. Oh, it comes in tapped. Horn of Greed. This is a problem. It only affects creatures, but in case we needed to Bolt Bend a creature for something. So opponent can kill basically 1 player. 2 if they go to Annihilator, although they have 2 mana up plus the thing. They could have it to fairies. I mean, I guess you have to use it if they have it. We have 11 commander on us? We do, from Legolas. Huh. Horn of Greed. And they have a Croson Verge. You'll be drawing a lot of cards. Oh, it's plays a land. Where are they going? Looks like they're trying to take down Flintlock. Not a terrible idea in that they're playing a control deck. Thalia coming our way. Would I trade our commander into Thalia? No, probably not worth it. It's only 4 damage. I mean, I guess we are actually set up to do the Karlach thing this turn. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, maybe we have something going. Green Fog? Never underestimate a good fog. Can vastly change a game. Constant Miss is even worse, because then you gotta force them to discard, probably. Opponent's going to try and shoot some stuff on the way out, looks like. Will they survive? I'm not sure. They're gonna shroud some creatures at the cost of lands. Cost of a Rogue's Passage. It's not nothing. Sacrifices the Maze of Ith? They must have something. There's no way they just sacrifice that. Unless they, like, just think that we aren't that threatening. I mean, we have cards in hand. Slippery Bogbender. Put a hexproof counter on target creature, then move any number of counters from among creatures you control into that creature. Interesting. Move some counters. Does it trigger the thing and shoots again? Maybe the thought is they can just block this because they can't see the Draconic Destiny. See how this goes down. I think it's still lethal. That's a lot of zombies. We go to 37. Exactly 0. Wow. If they could have gotten any of those spells to kill a zombie, then, or if their creature came in untapped, they would have survived. Well, thins the herd a little bit. We'll see how things go from here. If Annihilator has the board wipe, that's reasonable. We lose the Karlach, which I'm not thrilled about. It's kind of our finisher. If they don't, if they're just going on the creatures plan, then that's fine. Not too worried about that. Opponents sacrifice their Maze of It, though. What do they have? Whenever one or more lands put into your graveyard from play from anywhere, gain 2 life. Beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more lands in your graveyard, you both own this and that. Oh, there's so much text on this thing. How about we just try and kill them before we have to deal with any of that upkeep stuff? Whatever this says on the backside. Becomes giant, lots of abilities. Annihilator's going to get to look at a bunch more cards, though. Sylvan Library, plus Immortal Sun, plus Horn of Greed. What is that, like 5 extra cards? So if they have a board wipe, we're probably going to see it. And they're going to be able to dig pretty deep for it. I think there's 3 mana up over there. That's scary. If it's a Teferi's, we're just dead. Didn't bring like a Magma Quake. Magma Quake would clean up the zombies at instant speed. Could use another Strip Mine, just pop one of these lands. Horn of Greed. Said Shadow Spear ruined many of his plans, yeah. Basically been a Shadow Spear in play almost all game. Rabble Rousing. Okay, they're not going on the board wipe. 7 cards. If we had a wheel, I'd probably wheel, based on what all this looks like. I mean, I guess even if we did that, really needed to Bolt's Trickery more than anything, which I didn't bring. Discard some lands. They didn't take any extra with the Sylvan Library. Another land for us, not amazing. Play the Witch's Clinic, draw a card. Mind Stone, meh. Well, let's find out if they have it. We'll play the Mind Stone, I guess. Play Draconic Destiny. Oh, I used the Witch's Clinic. I wasn't supposed to do that. Go to combat. Actually, no. Reaver Cleaver first. How much mana do we have left? 2, 3, 4. What was that? 5, 6, 7? Yeah, I guess tap it all out. Tap it all out. Equip the Reaver Cleaver. Go to combat. Hope they don't have it. Swing into Xeno, send this one into Annihilator. Here's the extra combat. It's an Anguished Unmaking. Oh. That's totally fine. Bolt Bend on the Anguished Unmaking. They said, huh. Yep, red protection. Bolt Bend, baby. What's this do? Trying to gain some life. Okay. Or are they making mana? They're making mana. What do they have? Sacrificing a bunch of lands. Despark on Karlach, but that's annoying. But all tapped artifact, creature, enchantment cards that were put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn. Oh god. The tricks keep coming. So they'll get more... Well, they'd have to sacrifice a bunch of lands. I mean, I guess they can, right? If they have more tricks, we're not out of it yet. Let's go for the Immortal Sun. I'm hoping that Xeno dies right here. And then if Xeno dies, then it's just Annihilator that's left. Burn the Teferis. Burn the Teferis. That's fine. Hope this gets through. A lot of stuff on here. First strike, flying, haste, lifelink, trample, vigilance, fire breathing, and when it deals damage to a player, make that many tokens. Oh, that one's got reach. Well, it's going to take both attacks to get through. We trample for 4, we kill the thing. We are going to make a crap load of tokens. We're going to make a crap load more tokens. They take a big hit. And we go back to combat. You know what's interesting right here? So for each, because of the double strike, for each treasure that we pay in, we get 2 treasures back. I'm not going to go wild with it, but I'll do it a few times just to kind of show it. Importantly, this will pump our life total up, just in case. I mean, Ghatla can get us with commander damage pretty easily. Oh, actually, you know what? 8. Oh, I think I messed this up. Yeah, the double strike's not going to go through because we've already put too much commander damage. Whoops. So they should just replace themselves, which is fine. But we still gain a bunch of life, which is good. Because the problem with Ghatla is that, like, it can get you with commander damage, but also the other things can go wide on you and just get you with regular damage. So having life doesn't save us from everything, but it will help. We go up to 67. Pretty good. Oh, is this double strike hit going to go through when it's not supposed to? That happens sometimes. We have many treasures. Literal nothing to do with them. We had to tap out all of our lands doing all that. So they're basically going to get a free crack at it. We're lucky in that, you know, if they blow our commander up, it would be bad. But we have enough mana that we can recast it. We'll be able to activate Makokoro on our turn. We'll have haste from the land, so we have, you know, little things we can crack this thing. I kind of wish that an Immortal Sun did go down, but getting rid of the fairies is a very big deal. Let's see what they got. They're pretty tight on mana. Immortal Sun helps a little, but we are way ahead of them mana-wise. Wouldn't be sad to see an Ignite the Future. I don't know if I put the wheels in the deck. No Wheel of Fortune. Wheels have gotten more complicated. For the reason that I was talking about earlier, like if everyone has a full grip, you're going to get blasted with removal. Like the timing of a wheel is very important. They tend to be a little better earlier. Later, you don't want to be refilling people, although I guess in this situation, a wheel would actually be pretty good because they're at 8 and we're at 2, so they'd probably be losing a lot more and we'd be gaining. Commune with Lava is in our deck, and that would be super sick. Let's see what it is. Tapping up. Oh, Kogla. Okay. Kogla is a thing. Yeah, fight a creature. What do we have? Anything? No, it doesn't look like it. Kills the Kogla. Draconic Destiny will come back to our hand. They've used most of their mana. I feel pretty good about that. At least we killed the Kogla. Better than it's sticking around all game. I feel like they would have scooped if they didn't have anything. It's like they can see the haste and all the stuff. Rogue's Gloves. Cast our commander. How much is it? I can't even see. My eyes don't do that anymore. Let's crack the Mind Stone. Dracuseth. That should finish it up. I feel confident one of these two is going to get through. Play the Mountain. Cast a Dracuseth. Our commander gets bigger. Exciting. This gives haste. Put haste on Gimli. Yeah, they said too much haste. Haste the dragon. Opponent says they have a return to nature. That's got haste. Put this on there. They can scoop at any time now. Rogue's Gloves, in case he's playing mind games. Put the Rogue's Gloves on the Dracuseth, because Dracuseth isn't actually immediately lethal. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to equip. I wanted to equip the Reaver Cleaver. Alright, hopefully they don't have tricks. Send them. Dracuseth, 4 to their face. Can't believe that worked. I thought we were doomed in the middle of the game. After the Eerie ultimatum went off, yeah. That was looking pretty bad. We caught a huge break by opponents sacrificing the Maze of Ith. Part of that's a misplay on their part. The other, they have to realize that, like, how do we beat them? We beat them with commander damage. If Maze of Ith is out there, ooh, that is a tough time for us. Because then we'd have to spend the Bolt Bend on the Maze of Ith, and then the Anguished Unmaking gets through and probably saves them. And if they live there, they easily kill us. So that was one of the crux moments of the game, actually. But overall, the deck worked really well. We were so threatening early on. We just ate all of the removal, which wasn't great. But, man, imagine if the Hearthenholm stuck around. Oh, it would have been insane. We probably win much, much sooner just based on having, like, way too many lands. Because at some point, we would have been able to cough, like, everything out of our hand and get, like, a big Karlach turn in there and just, you know, really kind of overwhelm our opponents. But, yeah, it went pretty well. We saw some cool stuff from opponents. We saw the land stuff, the Eerie ultimatum was very scary. The Legolas was definitely a pain and pretty annoying for us to play around. We got lucky in that we did not really see the Ghatla. They got caught up in some land destruction and some removal and some other things that they kind of had a slow start with their lands too. So once Ghalta's in, it's just nasty. So glad we didn't have to see that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.